Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
So do you ever have a need to notarize a document but can't find a notary? Well, there's an app for that. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit later in the show. Technology that cleans our water at the plant may actually harm you when you use it or drink it. And we're going to chat about options and how to make your water healthier, as well as kind of a cool new announcement that they'll be talking about in a little bit. Yeah, should be kind of cool. Later in the show, of course, Miss Metaverse will be joining us to continue the CES discussion. At the control panel, producer extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Walsh.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm just figuring out how much money I lost on that game last night. Not true. I'm not a betting man. I learned that game the hard way.
Yes, yeah. I guess I did not watch it the first time in like 25 years.
Really?
I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Hey, you missed Katy Perry riding around on the robot dinosaur.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I should have watched it just for that.
Oh, yeah?
I'll have to, the cool thing, though, is then
all the beach balls around her looked like she was in a giant pumpkin patch.
I can relive the whole experience on the internet in like 10 minutes. I watched every commercial this morning that they played last night.
Yeah, my favorite was the one with the guy from Breaking Bad.
I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah, you got to see that one. It's
okay,
good.
Okay. I thought the puppy and the horse. Who had that one?
Oh, it was Budweiser.
Budweiser, that's right.
And did you see the insurance one about the kid?
I said it. I watched every one of them in 10 minutes this morning. I did not see that one either.
You got to watch that one because that one got a lot of negative response.
Okay.
Basically about the kid said, the kid said, "Hi, I'm a kid and I died."
Gotcha.
And the moral of the story is buy insurance. I know it's bizarre.
Yeah. You think about, I think the quality of the commercials have gone down as the price has gone up. Have you noticed this? I used to enjoy the commercials 10, 15 years ago when it didn't cost $4 million for a half-a-minute ad.
Well, it's kind of like music and a lot of things where they get more money and it becomes they kind of slack back on the creative aspect.
I agree.
Whereas if you don't have a lot of money, it forces you to come up with creative ideas.
That's correct.
To work around that.
That's correct. So it is interesting because, I think the last great volley in that was those Doritos commercials a few years ago when they actually had people out there, putting them up on YouTube or whatever, and then people voted for them, and then they got to be on the Super Bowl type of deal. So anyway, we have a couple great guests on the phone right now.
So I've heard.
Yeah, Chris and Andrea with New Enviro. How you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you doing today?
Doing fine as well. So we were talking a little bit at the top of the show about water technology and maybe the technology that our water plants use to, make our water safe may not be making our water safe. So you want to elaborate a little bit about that, Chris?
It's kind of twofold. Basically, the Environmental Working Group did a very large study. Basically, they took all the public kind of like water records from all the municipalities, and they found that there's over 315 contaminants in the U.S. tap water supply, half of which are unregulated. And the current process doesn't really kind of take all of that out, but we also add chlorine to the water. And the reason we add chlorine to the water is to kill bacteria and organisms. However, we're living organisms ourselves, so it's toxic to us as well.
Okay. And I could tell you from personal experience, I actually have reactions to chlorine. Now, I might be on the,
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I cannot go swimming before I go on an airplane, for example, because I will be just terribly congested and that pressure really affects me.
Well, a lot of pools, they put so much of the stuff in there that everybody gets infected.
Yeah, but even when I shower in the morning, I get a little bit of a nasal thing that goes on or whatever.
Is it an allergy? Or?
I don't know. I'm not sure if there's actually a chlorine allergy, but I would call it that because I do have a reaction to it. And I don't think I'm alone in that, am I, Chris?
No, one of the things, so basically kind of the primary route of exposure of chlorine is chlorine in its gaseous state when you do take showers. And a lot of people if they have asthma, can exacerbate those symptoms because you're inhaling the chlorine, and it can kind of attack the lung tissue.
Gotcha.
So you're definitely not alone in that.
Okay. So you have with New Wave Enviro, you guys actually have some solutions that can actually kind of fix this at the home level, correct?
Yeah, we do. Basically, what our company was kind of founded on was point-of-use water filtration, and our shower filters kind of eliminate chlorine in the tap water supply. What it does is it's a copper, zinc, and alloy, which is called a KDF55, and it bonds to the free chlorine in the water when you're taking your shower. It's kind of like the chlorine in its gaseous state, and converts it to a zinc chloride, which is actually beneficial for your skin and hair. You find a lot of like anti-dandruff shampoos and conditioners and products such as that. So basically, it's taking something that's toxic and kind of changing it chemically at a chemical level into something that's good for you.
That's actually pretty cool. And where do we find information about your products?
You can go to our website. It's newwaveenviro.com. And basically, you can click on the shower filter link, and then if you wanted to purchase it in stores, we have a store locator on there as well. We're in over 4,000 stores across North America. We're in all Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, or a couple big chains that you can find our products at.
Very cool. And I will actually post that link on the techranch.com as well, so people who are driving, don't have to write that down right now. So, Chris, unfortunately, we're going to be running out of time, and I know you have kind of a cool announcement. So I know it's a fun thing, so why don't you go ahead and let us know what's going on this Thursday?
Yeah, kind of in honor of our shower filters and to kind of generate more awareness. On February 5th, we've actually made a national holiday. It's National Shower with a Friend Day. In all their shower filters, no one should be ever showering alone. They should always be showering with their friend, and our shower filters are the friendliest friends you can have.
So this Thursday, February 5th, is National Shower with a Friend Day, and Jim's getting all excited over here now. Unfortunately, he's traveling, so maybe you won't be able to take advantage of that, Jim.
We'll see.
Yeah. So we can go to newwaveenviro.com and find out all about your great products. And again, I kind of ran across this, and you guys have a great selection of products to kind of combat the chlorine thing, including stainless steel water bottles and all kinds of great products.
Yeah, that's correct. Basically, we've been in business since 1993, and we basically create earth-friendly alternatives to a lot of kind of the environmental ills that happen in America today, like, lunch garbage, chlorine in the water supply, things like that.
Sure. All right. I really appreciate you being on the show, Chris. Remember, everybody, on Thursday, February 5th, Shower with a Friend Day, and go check out newwaveenviro.com to combat those nasties that you'll find in your water. After the break, everybody, we'll be talking about how you can notarize an important document, maybe with your phone. So come on back.
Right now, 9 above.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
And we're back to the Tech Ranch. Of course, you can listen to us all over the place on the fruited plains and across the world on...
all across the fruited plain.
Thank you, Jim. I was waiting for your yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. If you're you can join us on the Blueberry Network, you can join us on Roku, you can join us on iTunes, you can join us on the Tech Podcast Network, and we really want to thank all the people who listen to us across the country and around the world. On the phone joining us is venture capitalist. I love those two words, by the way, Jim. Venture capitalist. Yes, yeah. It means that maybe we're getting some money. Well, probably not. But
no.
Anyway, Tracy Thomas is joining us. She's the CEO of NTT Management Group and has an education, attended Harvard with a major in economics, and has an extensive resume.
She went to Harvard.
She did go to Harvard.
She went to Harvard.
Yes.
Parked a car near the yard. Weird figure.
I hope she's laughing at us.
I hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, Tracy, great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you for having me. That's an understatement. I'm honored to be here.
I'm sure you enjoyed our introduction. That's probably the worst introduction you've ever had in your entire life.
Well, you have the accent pegged to a T. Harvard, Carfa.
Say Harvard,
that's the
Harvard.
accent in Massachusetts.
That's
Say
great.
Yale.
Too funny. So you have what I think is probably one of the most ingenious ideas I've seen for an app in a long time. So
Thank you.
Great to have you on about this. So why don't you talk a little bit about your new app?
First of all, I want to thank you for the compliment. That's quite a verbal accolade from a tech gurus that you guys are. I did some research and investigation. So for you to make a compliment like that, I am extremely honored and flabbergasted.
So Tracy, usually we take companies down on this show. So yeah, Jim likes that a lot when we do that. So we're just kidding.
You're a real hatchet job.
That's right. We have done that on occasion, though.
Once in a while.
Yeah. So okay.
But I do thank you very
Oh,
much
you're very welcome.
sincerely for the compliment.
So talk a little bit about Notary for Rotary.
Notary for Rotary, I developed that precisely about 7 months ago in the summer of 2014. And it's so ironic how it happened. I needed to get a mailbox in Denver, Colorado. And since it was done via telephone, one of the sales representatives, she was a manager in Denver for the UPS store, and she was so adamant that I had to get this application notarized. Now, mind you, I have no need for a notary. I haven't seen a notary in decades, so trying to locate a notary even through the mobile directory or even through any other online Google or any other search engine was a cumbersome task.
Sure.
And it had to be done like right now. And it was stressing me out to no end. And I'm like, this is crazy. I cannot locate a notary anywhere. And I would call, and everyone would say they were available. And I found out the hard way that being available and being accessible are two separate conversations. And so after the ordeal, I kept calling her and asking her if she could, delay this task, and she told me no, this was the last mailbox they had available. So I said, you know what? I'm going to turn my pain into paper. I'm going to make this experience an everlasting one, and I thank her for the experience because it was hell on earth trying to locate a notary. And when I did finally find one, I had to drive all across town. So I thought it would be best if I'm going through this type cumbersome task that there's somebody else in the galaxy experiencing the same thing.
I'm thinking about everybody.
I said, there needs to be an app where if you need to have a document notarized from anywhere in the globe, you're able to do so from your cell phone, and the rest is history.
So, and I will say, I guess I haven't gone through what you went through for getting a mailbox, but I have had similar situations trying to find a notary. Fortunately, I know somebody personally that is, so when I run out of options during the business day, I can just call that person and he will usually do it. But you're right. It is difficult to find a notary because it's not something you need to do on a daily basis. So how does this thing work?
Literally, I built it so you don't have to go to the App Store nor the Play Store for Android and/or Apple, respectively. Even though maybe eventually I'll place it there, but I built it as a cell phone app website.
Okay.
So everyone has access to it, and they're not derailed because, again, the agenda and the objective is not to have someone more stressed out. That's the entire plateau of building it. I wanted as simplified as possible so the experience is very, very easy. So a user would literally go to their cell phone, and the only requirement is that you have Internet access, and that would be about 4 billion people on the planet.
Okay.
So you would just go to www.notary.rotary.com, and you're instantaneously inside of the app.
Okay. And then let's say I have a contract that I need to have notarized, and I want to send this to this notarized contract to somebody. How does that process work?
You would simply go to the Get Your Document Notarized Now tab, fill out the encrypted form. All of the data that's inputted on the form is extremely secure and SSL encrypted.
Okay.
You would then upload the document via PDF. You can even take a picture of the document, and it will upload and convert to PDF. Hit the submit button, and then we will contact you directly via telephone, text, or email.
Okay. So simple as that.
That's correct.
Okay, so
a lot easier than driving around for 12 hours looking for a notary.
Absolutely. So I could actually take a photo of my document, or if I have it ready in a PDF already, upload it to your website, notaryforrotary.com, and that's the number 4, everybody, notaryforrotary.com, and click submit and fill out the little bit of information that you need to fill out on there, and then you generate a call back to the individual, correct?
Exactly. At that point, it becomes a customized relationship.
Okay.
Where we literally walk through the client and then have the notary actually seal those documents. Just like conventional, traditional notaries, a valid ID is needed, and also a utility bill for proof of ownership is also a requirement.
Okay.
What makes this so interesting is in conventional means, and especially now with technology, you have some individuals who take advantage of that in a very questionable way, or a very maybe criminal way or fraudulent way, where they can acquire a fake ID. Not in this case. We actually record all sessions, and we actually archive them for a duration of 5 years.
Okay.
So I don't know too many criminals that want to be recorded, and certainly not stored in files for 5 years.
Sure. Well, Tracy, this is a very, very unique idea. It really is, and I think very much needed. And again, tell everybody your website one more time.
Okay, that would be www.notary4rotary.com.
All right, and I'll be posting that on the techranch.com, everybody, a little bit later. So if you have any questions or if you just want to utilize the service, I highly encourage it. Tracy, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
And have a great day.
Thank you. You too. And we're going to kind of get into our CES. You know, of course, we have a gazillion things we have to go through with CES. And Kate, of course, will be joining us, Miss Metaverse, here in a little bit. But
we still have some unfinished business.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
From the City of Lights.
So much to go over.
Oh, man.
And the first one is called AutoBrain. And showing Jim the card right here, right now.
AutoBrain.
So this is a device that if you have a car that's newer than 1996, you know, you got that little plug-in underneath your steering wheel,
right?
Where a mechanic will plug in their diagnostic stuff to take a look and see what your engine light, you know, if you have your engine light on or whatever, it tells you what that means and all that good stuff. They've come up with a very unique device that plugs in to that, and you leave it in there. And what it does is it tracks your car. So let's say you have a teenager that's driving. You can plug it in there, and it'll tell you if it, you know, what the speeds were that this car was driven, all this other stuff. It tracks the vehicle, so there's GPS tracking built into it. So there's a car finder. So if your car were to ever get stolen or whatever, you would have that. You can send a message to your AutoBrain via SMS from your phone. And it'll respond immediately with the location of your car.
Very nice.
So you don't even have to have the GPS tracker turned on. You can text it, and then it'll send you a message back saying, "Hey, I'm at the coffee shop," you know, or I'm maybe someplace I shouldn't be, you know,
I'm
type
at
of deal.
the adult bookstore.
Yeah, exactly. So there'll be all kinds of great ways to that, and of course, it also tells you what's wrong with your car. So if your engine
that's
light
important
does
to know.
ever come on,
Yeah.
it'll tell you the meaning of what's going on there as well. So, again, it's AutoBrain. You can find it at myautobrain.com. And actually, I'll look up the plans and pricing here, too.
Yeah.
And let everybody, if my computer will, go there.
Is there a problem with your computer? Plug it in your computer.
That's right. Exactly. Actually, after the break, everybody, I'll tell everybody what the plans and pricing are for, because it is actually a very cool deal. So after the break, we will be joined with Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino. So come on back.
Right now, 9 above.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And joining us on the phone, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino. How you doing, Kate?
I'm doing well. How are you, Marlo?
Doing fine as well. So I was trying to come up with, I was just talking about AutoBrain. I don't know if you're familiar with that company or not before the break.
No, I'm not.
Okay. They actually have a device that plugs into your car into the port underneath your steering wheel, like where the mechanic would plug into to diagnose your car. And it's pretty cool, actually. I mean, it diagnoses your car, tells you what's going on if your engine light comes on or whatever, but it also has tracking. It tells you, if you're speeding, rapid acceleration, harsh braking, the length of the trip, time of the day, all kinds of crazy stuff. And one of the coolest things about it is that you can text your car with this, and it'll actually send back the location of your car via your texting. So I just think that's pretty cool.
Wow.
So anyway, I was trying to look up the pricing for it, and I was unable to actually. I don't know if I'm having some internet issues here or whatever, or if their website's having some issues, but I was unable to do that. So, but it's something I looked at CES and thought it was pretty cool. So we were just talking about that. You wanted to talk about the technology behind Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool posts I've been reading about different kinds of technology that will probably be affecting the Super Bowl in the near future.
So, okay. So do you have anything about yesterday's game, or you want to just talk a little bit about what's going on in the future?
Well, there's one thing I thought was pretty interesting was Gizmodo was talking about how absurd it was that the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, actually banned drones at the Super Bowl by declaring a 60-mile wide zone a no drone zone. So
why did Gizmodo think it was absurd that they did this?
Well, because a 60-mile wide zone for this drone ban, that's really large. I mean, that's actually bigger than the city of Phoenix itself.
Right.
And I mean, fans want to be able to. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to say, because there's one side. There's a lot of people saying that you should actually have a pilot's license to operate a drone. That's what some people are trying to pass legislation.
Sure.
I think the FAA is looking towards doing that, requiring people to have a pilot license to operate these drones. And on the other end, there's a lot of people who are enjoying it and want to experience the games through these drones and be able to film it and watch it and have fun with this technology. And it's kind of a bummer. And I think that's why Gizmodo said that it was absurd that these people should not be banned.
Well, I think one of the big deals is that they've always viewed the Super Bowl as a high target when it comes to maybe a terrorism act or what have you. So that's probably what this was about more than anything else.
Definitely. I agree with you. It is. It's such a huge event. It really is. And I could definitely see why they want to take the extra precautions, for sure. But also at the same time, they are going to have to find other ways to allow new technologies to be a part of this and let fans experience new things. And maybe not particularly drones might be it because of those reasons, but we are going to see more VR, virtual reality, like Oculus Rift, becoming part of the fan experience. And there's a lot of really neat technologies that are coming out now that will definitely affect the way that we watch a game in the future.
So when you attend an event like this, and I've never had the opportunity to actually attend a Super Bowl, so I'm not really sure, but I'm assuming there's some very high-end technology to scan people when they go into the facility. Are you familiar with anything along those lines?
I'm not sure about how the ticketing process goes or anything like that, but I could only imagine, really. As far as that goes, I mean, it's a little hard to say. I think that how people watch the game in the future is going to be a lot different, too. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more different types of places opening up to accommodate people and events like this, you know?
Sure. So okay, so let's move forward. You know, what do you see as things changing in the future for the Super Bowl?
Well, actually, it was pretty interesting because for my web series, Awesome Future TV, I had interviewed Billy Whitehouse, who's the co-founder and lead designer of Wearable Experiments, and they're a fashion design brand based in Australia. And when I spoke with Billy, we were discussing one of her creations, which is a haptic technology shirt called the Alert Shirt. And now the Alert Shirt is really interesting because this shirt, let's say you're wearing this shirt, right? You can connect it to your smartphone app, and then before a game, let's say the Super Bowl, right? If you're wearing this shirt, you go on the smartphone app, and I'd be able to sync my shirt with, say, Tom Brady, the quarterback from the Patriots.
Okay.
And you'd be able to feel, with haptic technology, you're able to feel Tom's heartbeat. You could feel his emotions. You could feel the rush of the game. And anytime he's tackled or any kind of action happens or impact, you're able to feel that firsthand on your shirt. So you actually feel like you're in the game yourself. I think that's really cool. It's a different way of incorporating this haptic technology into the gaming experience for sure.
So would the athlete have some type of sensor pack on them, or how would that work?
Yes. Well, they're also wearing their own shirts. So the team players wear their own sensor-embedded shirts, which will capture the data, which is transmitted to the apps, which sent to the wearer's shirts.
So would this be something that would be used in like movie theaters or maybe the movie experience even at home?
I think that could happen for sure. I think we're seeing a lot more kinds of haptic technology happening in the future. And I think that's also going to be a part of virtual reality and VR. We're going to be seeing a lot of different experiential technologies combining to create one big picture, you know, whether it be watching a movie, feeling it, seeing it, really being a part of it. It's all about making it as real as you could possibly be.
And I will say, up until CES this year, I never had a chance to use Oculus Rift. And, I'm just bringing it up because you just brought it up, but they had a booth, of course, at CES, and we had the opportunity to actually experience Rift this year. And unbelievable. That's all I'm going to say. I felt one time like they were going from scene to scene, and I was just looking up, and I looked down, and I realized I'm on the edge of about a 180-story building. And I literally felt like if I took a step, I would actually fall off this building. That's how realistic this was. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And, of course,
that's so cool.
It really is. It really is. So, and I agree. I mean, those type of technologies will certainly get us more involved in sporting events and that type of thing in the future. So anything else that you can think of as far as technology in the future of the Super Bowl?
Well, actually, going back to Oculus Rift again, did you actually try out the new Crescent Bay headset?
Yes.
And did that have the audio, the new audio on it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was like there was a scene that I was being chased by a dinosaur, and if I didn't know better, I would feel like I was about ready to get gobbled up by a T-Rex.
Wow.
It was, even the saliva dripping off of the teeth was like, I was, moving out of the way of that. I was, there was a scene where there was this car explosion, and I was covering up from that. I mean, these instincts that you have take over because it's just so real.
Wow. Yeah. Back to Oculus Rift. They actually already had earlier this year Oculus Rift fans, it was the State Farm Neighborhood Fan Cave at Jacksonville's Everbank Field. So fans of the the Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars,
Okay.
were able to go to this event where fans could wear the Oculus Rift headsets and watch the first NFL game of the season. And it seemed really amazing. And all the reviews, all the fans that went there and were a part of this experience were just blown away.
So did they have to have a special camera crew that filmed this at the same time, or how does that work?
Yes, there was. I believe it was like a media company that captured it. It was powered by 3D 4U's Twirls media technology.
Okay.
Not entirely sure what that means, but it's probably some kind of specific 3D media company. I'm sure there's a way you have to be able to capture it in that way so you could really be a part of it and make it feel real.
So do you know if they, not to change the subject too much, but they had the 60-mile ban on drones. Did they use drones in the game yesterday? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
I was just curious if the NFL actually allowed cameras to be on the drones during the game, because I'm starting to see a few drones now being used as opposed to the cameras that are on the wires that they use in the football fields. I'm starting to see some drones as well. So.
Right, and that's the thing. It's kind of, if they were to do that, wouldn't that be kind of, I don't know, hypocritical for them to be able to use it inside the stadium, but then not be able to have any drones within a 60-mile wide zone?
Yeah, exactly. But you can see where maybe they would allow that, for the actual filming of the game. So, all right,
Definitely.
Mr. Jim, let's go to a break. So after the break, everybody, Kate and I will continue our conversation on Super Bowl technology. And if we run out of some topics there, we'll probably continue our discussion into CES as well. So come on back.
Right now, 10 above.
You're never more than a few minutes from a weather update here on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And on the phone, of course, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino, who will be making an appearance here in North Dakota the evening of May 18th, and she'll be speaking at the BSC Energy Center. Very excited about having her come. And, of course, we'll be doing a show live from the Roadshow, AUVSI Roadshow, that afternoon as well. So should be a very, very exciting day, May 18th. So you want to put that on your calendars, everybody. Kate, we were just talking about Super Bowl technology. Anything else that you want to bring up about that?
Yes, there's actually a website that I found earlier that's called sportchaser.com.
Okay.
And so SPORTCHASER, sportchaser.com. And it's a website and an app that helps you find the best bars to go watch your favorite sports games.
Jim's giving you a thumbs up right now.
Yes, and unfortunately right now it's only based in New York, but they do have plans. They will be expanding it very soon, so just watch that space.
Okay, very cool. So anything else that you can think of before we move into CES stuff?
Yes, well, actually I have a couple of technology bits here that are going to segue over to CES because I actually saw, not necessarily for football, but there's other technologies here that I've seen that seem pretty cool. So for basketball, right, there's a sensor and a wristband called Shot Tracker.
Okay.
And what it does is you put this sensor on any basketball net, and then you wear this wristband. And together, it collects data on how many shots you take, and it displays all of the stats on an app. So while you're practicing basketball, it'll tell you how many shots you took, what you missed, how high you jump, and it's really interesting. It's kind of cool.
Very cool. I know that at CES there was a lot of technologies on sports-related things, and somebody actually had a basketball that had a sensor in it as well. And then there was one that actually you could pick any sport, and there probably was something there about it. I think there was a hockey puck that had a sensor built into it. So there was all kinds of things that had sensors. And I think the one with the hockey puck, the sensor was so that the camera can follow the puck better. Because one of the issues in hockey is that sometimes the action is so fast that the cameras don't keep up with it,
Definitely.
So there would be a sensor in there so the camera actually joins it and keeps track of where the puck is at all times. So that's kind of interesting. The tennis racket was kind of interesting, too. There was a bed of sensors in this tennis racket. Runs $300 for this racket, and it'll actually show you if you're having issues with your backhand or whatever, the number of times you hit a ball, if you're hitting it in the right spot, and that type of thing, so you can adjust your game accordingly. So
Yes, I saw that. It's called Babolat, Babolat, and it's a smart tennis racket, and it has the sensors are in the handle, and and that gathers data on your game. So it's pretty cool.
what I like about it the most is that if you miss the ball, it gives you an electric shock. So after a few times, you don't want that shock anymore, so you really go after the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So anyway, yeah.
So what else did you see at CES?
Well, there was a couple things that we haven't got to yet that I thought was really interesting. One was a robot called Budgie, Budgee, and it's made by 5E Robotics. And, it's not the most, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this. It's not the most, wow. I mean, you don't see a lot of razzle dazzle with this robot because there's not a lot of arms on it or whatever. But what it does is it follows you, and it's capable of holding 50 pounds worth of stuff.
Oh.
So what you do is you clip this transmitter on your belt and or whatever on your body, and no matter where you go, that the budgie will follow you. So if you're going through, let's say, a grocery store, and you can just fill this thing up with stuff, and it'll just continue to follow you around. If you maybe you're bound to a wheelchair and unable to carry stuff, this thing could actually just follow you around with the things that you need, going through an airport or at a convention or whatever, and you don't want to be carrying all this stuff. This robot will follow you around and carry your stuff for you. So they had a couple of these out and about at CES, and they're the coolest things. And if I remember right, they ran about $1,300. So they're not even that expensive.
No, definitely not. And I could see stores allowing customers to use these as well, because a lot of shopping carts, especially when we're going grocery shopping or going out and about, they're probably some of the most dirty things we come in contact with every day. After you go to the grocery store and you're pushing those carts around, you always feel like you got to break out the hand sanitizer. And I think having a budgie with you, would definitely be a lot cleanlier and
sure.
Definitely more easier to go about life in.
And, again, it only holds 50 pounds, and you can't stack it full of a bunch of stuff. But, there's certainly use for it, and I find it intriguing, and I can see where they're going to find a lot of uses for these. I really can. I think it's pretty cool.
Especially if they fold up and become more compact. I think that would be really great, too. If you fold up and carry it with you like that, that's great.
They do. You're right. That's exactly right. So there you go. You've already hit on one of the bigger deals. So, yeah, you can go check it out at 5erobotics.com. It's called the Budgie, Budgee. Another one that I thought was cool, you and I talk a lot about 3D printers, and Jim, and he's yawning now. He's been up since 1:30 this morning. He is dedicated to this job. I'm just saying, yes. Jim. And excited for the show to be over today. You can see it in his eyes already.
No, it's a great show.
Okay. I've just
been up a long time.
You've been up a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
So, 3D printers, there's have you seen the 3D Doodler?
Yeah, is that the pen?
It's the pen, yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So the 3D Doodler is like this. It's a pen that you hold in the air just like any other pen, and you can actually create 3D objects and draw in midair using this.
Jim is doing it right now with his pen.
Except it's not drawing anything.
Yeah, it's got a filament that goes in it, and you can actually create whatever, and they have, it's amazing what people have done. They actually at CES had somebody who basically did a dress out of this 3D Doodler. So, even wearables, and you think about 3D printers printing wearables, but this is all done by hand,
Wow.
Pretty cool stuff. But, yeah, it's pretty amazing what people have done with this, and it's relatively inexpensive. You can get a 3D doodler for like $130. So if you want a 3D printer, it's a good place to start. It really is.
It is really cool to experiment with, and I think for kids too, it's really fun to play with. I think that if you have kids, it's a great and more inexpensive way to get kids involved with the whole 3D printing and maker movement, because it's fun. Kids love drawing, and to be able to create anything in midair like that, it's very neat. And I've seen people actually make like skyscrapers and like miniature skyscrapers. I saw someone make a miniature Eiffel Tower using the 3D doodler, so it's very cool.
It really is. And speaking of children, moving a good segue to the next one. How about Pipsqueak? Have you seen Pipsqueak?
No, I haven't.
Jim's laughing. It's because you're on no sleep. That's why it's funny to you, Jim. So this is actually a product put out, but the company name is called Yip Yap. So, Jim, you should be laughing at that, too. And they have a product called Pipsqueak. And what this is, it's like how kids love phones, right? They absolutely love them. If you're on the phone and you have children or grandchildren, they want your phone all the time.
Yeah.
So this company has come up with a kid's version of a cell phone, basically. And what it does is it looks like a regular phone. And, it's colored. They have this one I'm looking at right now is yellow and blue. A lot of fun things for the kids on there. But it's basically like a Bluetooth headset. So it syncs to the parents' or the grandparents' phone, just like a Bluetooth headset. And you put the app on your phone, and if somebody's calling the kids, it'll actually ring through your phone to theirs, and theirs will start to ring. It's the coolest.
Oh.
It's the coolest thing. It's almost like having their own phone without you having to go out and purchase a phone. And it only works, of course, when you're within, like if you're in the car with them or walking around with them or whatever, because it has to sync to your Bluetooth. But it is actually kind of a clever device called Pipsqueak.
Wow, that is so amazing. It's the whole thing is that our kids, they really do. They want to have an iPhone at such a young age. I mean, my daughter, she's 2.5 now, and she loves my iPhone. So I think this would be a great investment for her. She would love to play with that, definitely. And I love having to be able to have that control, and any kind of calls going through a parent's phone is definitely great.
Well, and the other thing is that you just don't have to worry about that monthly charge or whatever else that goes along with that. So it's really great. So, all right, Kate, another great show as usual. Thanks for joining us. Jim, go get some sleep.
Yes.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Yes, all right. And I guess you won't be here next week, so we'll talk to you in a few weeks. Everybody have a great week.